World is changing, and the maximum change in the trade area is being seen in United States because United States has lost number one position in the manufacturing unit, number one position in the world trade. Now it is captured by China. Means Asia is ramping up, and Asia has to ramp because Asia has the maximum population in the world, around $10 billion, $10 billion, around 10 billion people they live in the world. Thus, 10 Arab people they live in the world. 10, 10 into 100 crore. That many people they live in the world. 10 into 1000 million, 10 billion people they live in the world right now. And in that 3 billion people they live in China and India only. 3 billion, one third, little less than one third. People they live only in two countries. So these two countries cannot be poor countries. They have to come up because maximum population live in these two countries only. Now China is number one country in the world as far as global manufacturing is concerned. 35% of the world manufacturing is happening in China only. And China is number one exporter in the world, number one. Means China is the number one technology country in the world. So China has taken the position of America. And America is more or less, it is struggling to get back the number one position in scientific research and in the trade area. Is it the trade area that is only the concern of the world right now? Certainly not. There are other areas also they are of concern now. And in that there is something called political arena. If trade arena is in trouble and America is losing the spot or lost the spot of number one place, and day by day executive orders are being released from the President of United States, there is another country called India, and since 1947, India is going through political turmoil. Daily basis executive order are being released. I mean, daily basis people are seeing the changes. Okay, among them, there is a concept of something called exile government that is being seen in Indian subcontinent called exile government. Exile government means a country is controlled by another government, another country, and that country is running their government in another country called exile government. Typical example is Tibet was an independent country till 1959, an independent country. In the Qing dynasty also prior to 1912, when Qing dynasty demolished, prior to that also Tibet was a country only. Yeah, it was loosely associated to the Qing dynasty, but Tibet was an independent country. 1949, China occupied Tibet, and Tibetan government they had prime minister and everything in Lhasa, and then they have to leave their home country in very painful manner. In a way, India did not provide any support at all, zero. Rather than Indian government was busy in looting their own country rather than supporting Tibet in fighting with the foreigner China. They closed down their embassy in Lhasa. First, they closed down their embassy in Lhasa, discouraging Tibetan government out there. And then they were busy in looting their own people. One, how they would have helped Tibet. Then painful people of the Tibet, they left the government. They did not like living in the control of foreigners. That is China. Tibet is not part of China. Everyone know about it. They like to live in different country, India, but they did not like to live in the control of foreigners in their own country. And in Dharmshala, right now in Dharmshala in Himachal Pradesh of India, there is the exile government of Tibetan. This is typically called exile government. Exile government means government which was ruling. Now government has shifted its office from that country to another country, claiming that country is already occupied. There is another terminology called dumped country. Dumped country. One is called exile country, exile government. One is called dumped government. Dumped government means someone has occupied your country, but little bit portion is still with you. Little bit portion is still with you, like Afghanistan. When Taliban captured Afghanistan in 2021, then Panjshir area was still controlled by the Afghan government. The like Amarullah Saleh. So they were controlling, but after few months, so that is dump government. They were running government from the Panjshir. So that is called dump government. They are inside the country only, but in some particular region called dump government. Okay, exile government means the full government now it is running their government outside the country, even though they may not have recognition outside in the United Nations or whatsoever, but they are saying that we are running our government. Means once their main focus is to pressurize the world or whatsoever to regain their country, and they will go back and they will resume their government out there. We are talking about what is the government in, this is the government in exile. How many government in exile it is running in the world right now? Main government in exile. There is a government in exile from Balochistan. Balochistan was an independent country more or less till 1947. Then Punjabi people they controlled Balochistan and they said we are Pakistan, Pakistan. Actually, it is Punjabistan. Punjabistan means it is ruled by Punjabi people only. Now, more than 50% of National Assembly seat belongs to Punjab only in Pakistan. And Balochistan is only half of the region is Balochistan. And there are natural resources, they are looting Balochistan. In the name of one country, Muslim country, Islamic country, they are looting Balochistan. Anyway, now Baluch leader Mrs. Srimati Naila Qadri Baluch. Now she has waged a war with the Punjabi people, and now she is running a government in exile. She is more or less leading the government. She is president of the Balochistan government. There is no official registered office of it. She lives in Canada, but people consider Geneva, Switzerland, is the office of the Balochistan exile government. There are many exile governments. We will see Amrullah Saleh, who was in government from government, the democratic government in Afghanistan, from the Hamid Karzai to Ashraf Ghani. He was deputy vice president of Afghanistan, Amrullah Saleh. I believe he is somewhere in Switzerland, and he also running a Afghanistan government in exile from the Switzerland. What is the power of this exile government? This exile government, more or less, they do not have any power. At least Balochistan government, they are trying to issue passport and visa. Means if they issue passport and visa from the exile government, then around the world, other countries should recognize it. This is what their request is. That any Baluch person who is living in Balochistan or wherever, if he is receiving passport from the Baluch exile government, and he has and then he is going to embassy of another country, then he should put visa on it. This is what their request is. Or anyone who trying to come to Balochistan, they can affix visa on it. That's what legality United Nations should give. That is not there. More or less, all exile government are powerless. Tibetan central Tibetan government they cannot also issue. They can also not issue the passport, or neither they can affix visa on any passport. But still, they are running in a hope. They have made a hope alive that they will go back to their country. This is called exile government. This is the concept idea. Now we will read it through how many exile government right now. In Indian subcontinent, maximum exile government is running now. Afghanistan exile government in Iran, 1979, once the Ayatollah Khomeini, or supreme leader of Islamic, I don't know, people in Iran and all, they don't like him. What he did for the Islam and those kind of, no one, everyone think that I am like a Muhammad only. What Muhammad did and what you are doing, there is a vast difference in that. He established Islam and he was pure Muslim. But these people, what they do, I don't know. At least I have never understood it. What they are doing in the synchronization, in the kind of in synergy with the actual the preaching of Muhammad. As far as Islam is concerned, if I see Ayatollah Khomeini or Akhundzai or something like that in Afghanistan, what they are doing in the synergy with the what Muhammad had said, zero. Okay, their main target is to capture the chair. Well, people are now fed up with these kind of people. Okay, people want real Islam. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying people want democracy and people want development or what. People want real Islam. This is what people want. Anyway, 1979 till 1979, there was a monarchy in Iran, and then the Shah of the Iran, he had to leave the country, and then he went to Egypt, and there he died, and then his wife, she went to United States. More or less, they are also running the government in exile. Her son is the king of Iran. So now, Miss Dynasty by Dynasty, they are taking care of this. So she is also running government. She is very old, no, I believe 90-year-old or something like that. She is also running government in exile of the Iran from the United States. There are many. So Indian subcontinent is full of government in exile. Afghanistan, Balochistan, Iran, Tibet. Okay, these are the government in exile. Anyway, we will read it through what is the situation of the world as far as government in exile is concerned. This is very pessimistic that these people they have to leave the you see the Baluch people. If they had lived in the Balochistan only and thinking that we are no problem, we can be ruled by Punjabi people, then they would have lived there just for the self dignity. They are living in other country, no money in the hand. Okay, only they have is the self esteem and prestige. That's it. Otherwise, they are living life of a common man only. Okay, if I talk about government in exile. Okay, what is government in exile? First, I'll read it through the definition of government in exile. Political, political, political coup that claims to be legitimate government of a sovereign state or or semi-sovereignty state, but is unable to exercise legal power and instead reside in foreign country. If any government, okay, it is residing in for another country, and he represents the old government or actual government. If Balochistan government is in exile, then they think that we are Balochistan government. Though we are not living in Balochistan, but we are Balochistan government. Tibetan Dalai Lama and these people, what they think? People are thinking that manner only. They are Tibetan government, not the government puppet government that is living in Tibet right now. This is typically called government in exile. Okay, very high self-dignified people, highly esteemed people. They rejected the claim of slavery and they left the country and they made government of it. Generally, they run in another country. Baluch people, they had also asked Indian government, we will run Balochistan government in India. Even they offered that Baluch people, they will join Indian army and they will fight against the Pakistan. This much they did. What they will do more than that? Anyway, so different. One example that is very good example is coming that Germany in First World War, more or less they captured Belgium, more or less. Then Belgium government, they were running government in exile from the France. Okay, that was the situation in the First World War. Okay, in Second World War, the Nazi Germany they controlled many countries in the Europe, and those countries they were running exile government from the United Kingdom. So these are the historical example of then the Sri Subhash Chandra Bose. Sri Subhash Chandra Bose probably the name of the brightest person in the Indian freedom struggle. Sri Subhash Chandra Bose, and he also rejected the slavery of British people, and he was running a government called Provisional Government of Free India. Provisional Government of Free India. Sri Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, it ended with his demise, unfortunate demise. Anyway, now these kind of these exile government typically their capital, their country are different from where they are running the. Government. Okay, what are the example of exile government right now? Central Tibetan Administration, that is the name of the government, and it is running from the Dharmasala in Himachal Pradesh in India since April 29th, 1959, in where one in every six people died war with the China. People's Liberation Army. What liberation they are doing? At least I never understood. Is it the liberation? You are throwing away local people out of their country, and it is the liberation. Anyway, now Dalai Lama 2000, 2009 they celebrated 50 years in the exile. What they can do more than that? Okay, now around 1.4 million people are living outside Tibet and they are considered Dalai Lama as their head and they are following the government in exile that is in Dharamsala, Himachal Pradesh. 94,203 people in that government they live in India. In that government, 13,514 people live in Nepal. 12,098 people they live in Bhutan and other they live around the world. But they consider Dharamsala as their exile government capital. Anyway, head office. Baluchistan, Srimati Naila Kadri Baluch, she live in Canada. But people consider Geneva, I believe that is the head office of the Baluchistan. They asked requested Indian government to have their head office in India. If the Indian government would have allowed them, had they been allowed them, then present situation of Pakistan would have been much different. But what we can, we cannot do anything. Yes, we can talk here. Mean someone is giving you free assistance, free assistance. Baluch people and Yemeni people. Many times I have said Baluch people and Yemeni people. Historically, they are considered as the best soldiers. Best soldiers. People were using kings were earlier. They were using these people in their army. If Baluch people they join Indian army and they fight against Pakistan in Operation Sindoor or whatsoever, what will happen to the Punjabi fighters from the Pakistan? I'm not saying Punjabi fighters from India, Punjabi fighters from the Pakistan. Operation Sindoor would have gone through different result altogether. And someone is giving you help and you are not taking anyway. And then you are crying. Pakistan has taken occupied Kashmir and China has taken this and that. Tibetans are giving you help free of cost. You are not taking anyway. Okay, there is NRF, National Resistance Front, that is established by Amarullah Saleh, Vice President of Afghanistan till 2021. And after Taliban capture, he was living in Panjshir area. Then he left to the Switzerland. And there is no official residence. No one knows where he is, but he is running Afghanistan government in exile. Mr. Amarullah Saleh. Okay, then if we talk about other countries, these are the from the Indian, and then the Queen of Iran from 1979 onwards, loosely, she is leading the government in exile of the Iran from the United States. Her son is the king or head or prime minister of the Iran. Okay, officially designated. People consider it. Anyway, now we have there used to be a country called Chechnya. And Chechnya, more or less, it came out of disintegration of Soviet Union. Later, Russia controlled the Chechnya, Grozny. Now, Grozny, Chechnya is part of Russia. So, the people in Chechnya, the government in Chechnya, around 2000, 10 years they ruled. In 2000, they established their country in exile in Kiev, Ukraine, and from there they are running the government in the Ukraine. Okay, this is called Chechen Republic of Ichkeria. Chechen Republic of Ichkeria. Anyway, there is a reason Azerbaijan and Armenia they are fighting for a long time. They both were part of Russia, I believe. Soviet Union disintegration, new country came Azerbaijan and Armenia, and they have a contention for a small region, and that region name is Karabakh region. Now Karabakh region 2023 Azerbaijan has taken over from the Armenia. And people who were living there, the government which were living there, now they have formed a government in exile in Armenia. There they went in Yerevan, Armenia, and they are running a government called Government of Artsakh. I believe Artsakh is the region bigger region now the Azerbaijan has controlled in 2023. If someone sees the map, that region was completely inside the Azerbaijan only, something like that. And but the tribe, the people who were living there, they were from Armenia origin, not from Azerbaijan origin. But looking geography, Azerbaijan controlled it, and now they are running a government in exile. Okay, National Republic of Belarus. 1919, Soviet Union took over Belarus, and it was a democratic country. Now, people from the Belarus democratic government, they are running since 1920 in Canada. It is led by Ivonka Servila, and they are leading called National Republic of Belarus. This is also known as Rada BNR, means Belarus National Republic Rada. And 2023, the president of Belarus, Belarus more or less it is like a autocratic government. Means president, one person is leading the Belarus. More or less it is not a democratic country right now. Okay, Lukashenko, I believe, President Lukashenko, something like that. If I'm pronouncing wrong name, then please pardon me because pronouncing wrong name is a big crime. Okay, Lukashenko, I believe, and he is leading the president, and more or less it is not it is not a democratic country. So democratic people since 1919, 1920, they are living in the in up. Okay, they are where it went. They are living in Canada. Okay, that is National Republic of Belarus (BNR). And in 2023, the Mr. Lukashenko he has declared this government in exile as as a extremist formation. These are extremists or terrorists or whatsoever. Anyway, there is a Sahrawi, very famous exile government called Sahrawi. Someone can say it is a dumb. I was talking about dumb. I was talking about a rump state, not dump state. Rump state. Rump state. Rump state means a state where if some government is leading a country and because someone invaded in the country, then they fled to some very small region of the country, something end. Very small region they are have captured. This is called rump country, not the country in exile, like Taiwan. The Republic of China, ROC, it was a military-based government they were running in China from 1912 to 1947-48. And then then communist government in China it came with support of Russia, Soviet, and then they chased away this ROC. Then finally they are only confined to Taiwan now. This won't be called a government in exile because they have territory now. This will typically called rump state. Anyway. Similar to rump state, we can say, because there is no exile government of China anywhere. They are living there only in Taiwan. There is a country in Africa called Western Sahara. If you list down, there will be a country called Western Sahara, and it is south to Morocco, along the Mediterranean, along the Atlantic Ocean, northwest of Africa. It's called Western Sahara country. And Western Sahara country, the people they are called Sahrawi people. Sahrawi people, very beautiful people. Sahrawi people. I have personally watched in the social media, extremely beautiful people, extremely. Okay, very handsome people, very beautiful. Lady, women, very handsome gents, very beautiful people. Sahrawi people. And Sahrawi people, they were under control of France. So France ruled the Western Sahara as a country from 1884 to 1975. And after leaving the French people, Morocco, 80% of this country is right now Western Sahara. It is controlled by Morocco only, and 20% is remaining there, and they are ruling from the 20% country remaining area only, and that they have and that their capital is Layune in Western Sahara, but it is only 20% of Western Sahara. 80% is captured by the ruled by the army of Morocco only. In that fashion, it cannot be rump state because the government out there who was doing the who consider themselves as the government of Western Sahara, right now they have opened office in in uh, in where up. Okay, they have opened office in Algeria. Tinof province of Algeria, where they're running the exile government. Whatever government is in 20% of it, that is more or less puppet government only. More or less now they are in Algeria and they're running government in exile. Okay, the very beautiful Sahrawi people. Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, SADR they call it, and they are running in Algeria, Tindouf area. Whereas in 20% what is remaining with the Western Sahara, there is still a government in Layoni, is the capital, and president is Mr. Brahim Ghale, and prime minister is Mr. Bucharia Homaudi Bayoun. And since 1976, they are running the exile government in Algeria. Okay, this is how it is. So these are the exile government, but maximum problem is in Indian subcontinent only. Okay, Yang San Suu Kyi of the Burma, she is under arrest. Otherwise, she would also be running exile government. And then Sheikh Hasina, she is living in Delhi, and she not going to contest the next election that will happen in 2026. More or less, we can say she is also running an exile government only. So biggest problem is in Indian subcontinent after 1947. There are extremist organizations in Kasi Kasgar region also. They are fighting for their sovereignty. They have not made exile government though. Means all around India, problem is there. Either Burma, Bangladesh, Tibet, Kasi Kasgar, Afghanistan, Balochistan, Iran, everywhere exile government is running. I believe Indian government must understand it, or Indian government is happy with 50% people they are starving in India. India is in a hunger index toward the end only. Every year toward the end $1 is 90 rupees it is touching. If Indian government enjoys it, likes it, then there is absolutely no problem.